Spider-Man 2099. Is he going to be in the new Miles Morales movie?
I know. They haven't even been releasing much. Like besides that one little teaser trailer, they haven't even like been talking about it. And I think that's next month, right?
It's got to be coming up soon, right?
I haven't heard much more about it, which I mean, I guess probably is a good thing because then once it does come out, I'm pretty sure it has enough like momentum from the first one and kind of
Yeah.
enough buzz to stand alone without too much crazy
I'll tell you
promo.
what, that soundtrack to that first one
No,
was fire.
that was a dope movie. Like animated
Yeah.
wise, like from Sony, that was a really dope movie. I don't even
Yeah,
know
they
like who was over like the art of all that and just the design. I really like that though.
well, whoever it was, they need to be in charge of the rest of Sony's productions.
See, but that's my thing. Like that's the thing with Sony that gets me. They can do that, which I think Sony's been always kind of good with animation, but with Spider-Man standalone movies just directly, like anything pertaining to Spider-Man, Sony wise, it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
They can't do that with Spidey by himself without Marvel.
No.
Like they cannot, like even with Morbius, all that. I was like, man, you just kind of ruined the whole character that could have just like
Yeah. I mean, to be honest though, like I think that's what they try to do. Like, and maybe I should save this for the hot take session, but a lot of people are trying to put these characters who are really side characters into leading roles.
pretty
Like
much.
Morbius doesn't need a movie. He
Yeah.
needs to be in a universe like where he
Ground
is
level.
battling somebody like Spider-Man, some big name to carry that person.
They
Because
honestly
Morbius
should
alone
have
is
saved
not
it
enough to
for
carry.
Blade. That would have been a cool
Hmm.
like
Yep.
little Easter egg cameo for like Blade. Not even like a full that's the big bad of the movie, just like first act of the movie. You see Blade,
Yeah.
he's chasing somebody, he's trying to find somebody, boom. We run into Morbius. He's trying to stop Morbius. They fight. He catches Morbius. He's out. But that's a cameo that could come back later. And then like Spider Man and Blade.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and they don't do a good job of like testing those characters out because
Yeah.
they could easily do that in some sort of like large, like Civil War or like because like Captain America Civil War, they introduced like Bucky Barnes as Winter Soldier. They did Spider-Man in there, which obviously Spider-Man was going to be good, but like you get a lot of powerful characters together, recognizable, that are like characters that people already love, and
Yeah.
you add some new blood into that and allow people to like them or not like them. If they don't like them, well, fuck it. Like,
Pretty much.
they don't have to be in the next movie, but if they do like them, then you build on that. And like, I
Because they
don't,
did a good job with. I think they did a good job with Guardians of the Galaxy with that. Because I've never heard anybody speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy prior to
yeah, but it
like
was
the
a,
movies coming out.
but it was a big like ensemble cast. So it gave you like six different choices of people who you can like. And
But even then,
whereas
that still was kind of a gamble, though. That was a big
yeah,
ass gamble.
totally,
It's like,
totally.
what if that movie would have bombed and like nobody, like
Right.
anybody of those characters?
But like in the case with Morbius, like you had Jared Leto. That's it. That's all that movie had. And there was no context as to how he fits into the rest of the universe. There was no like, you know, the character itself as a comic book character, it's not a strong one because not a lot of people know it.
Yeah,
And so you're trying to live up to the Captain Americas, the Iron Mans, the Hulks, like all these characters that are super well known, and you just get thrown into the mix, and then you're not even put into the stew. Like you are you're not even given a chance, really. Like he needed to be introduced with another stronger character
yeah.
before his full-fledged movie goes.
He's definitely ground level villain if he's ever going to be somebody's villain. I don't think he has enough just anything or charisma or character just development overall just to be like the big bad of a full franchise. I think he's just like You know, this is the guy that kind of shows up every now and again. That kind of is like the pain in the ass in the movies or the TV shows that you kind of just got to stop. And you know, he's the one that Spider-Man will probably crack jokes on, like, dude, didn't I just stop you last week and kind of
Right.
put him away, and then it's, you know, on about his day or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And honestly, that's the one thing that I think that DC in the comics and in the cartoons has done really well with Batman and Arkham Asylum. That's given Batman a revolving door of like
Mhm.
evil villains that he can take on any given time. Like, you know,
Yeah.
oh, you know, Poison Ivy's broken out again. Let's go fight her, you know. And so like that, if the MCU introduced something like that where they are able to use smaller names as, you know, like people that the Avengers or new Avengers or even the new characters that are coming out that they can go up against, they don't need a whole full-fledged movie. They could just piggyback on the things that are happening in the MCU right now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, fit them into the timeline and then see if they screen well and like people love them, then let's make a movie out of it, you know?
I think they could have done good with him. I think one, the writing was terrible. There was no plot to that movie
Yeah.
whatsoever. I had no idea what was going on throughout the entire movie.
That was hard to
The
follow.
movie was rushed as shit. It was short and rushed. It was like there was no development for him. You showed me this
Yeah.
man that's sick. You showed me him going to find the cure. Boom, he's Morbius. Boom, he's a villain. There was nothing that kind of like, why did he go bad? Why is he, you know,
Yep.
doing any of the stuff that he's doing? Then he gets somebody. I don't even know if the guy that his friend was a main comic character or not, but they end up fighting out. Excuse me if somebody has not seen this movie. I'm spoiling the entire movie. You're not wasting time to watch this anyways. He like fights his friend, kills his or gets, you know, beats his friend, wins that, goes to the end, him and Vulture team up, which I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna try to tie this into Spider-Man. It's gonna be like MCU thing. I don't even know what they did with that, with the whole, because apparently Vulture was a part of the spell from No Way Home, and that's how he was out of his cell, and then that's how he ended up back in his cell. And I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, that was kind of like pointless. That was like, you did nothing. Like, if you're gonna like let Vulture out, Vulture should have just been out, and then like, okay, you could have just, if you didn't even have plans for Morbius, you could have just been like, okay, boom, if this tanks, we could at least use this Easter egg of Vulture, tie him back into Spider-Man, show him like, all right, I'm out. You know, maybe he sees a picture of Peter now being outed as Spider-Man or something. Or if you're gonna do
Right.
with the whole spell thing, just be like, I don't know, maybe he forgets Peter, but he still remembers that he hates fucking Spider-Man. He sees
Yeah.
Spider-Man and flies off, and it's like, okay, boom. That's something that ties us into where the hell he's going next. But you
Yeah.
just,
They did like the most laziest sideways like take to like
it
try to
was
introduce the Sinister
so
Six, maybe.
pointless.
I don't
Like,
know.
even that, they didn't even, well, technically, I don't even think it was Sony that did that one. Like the first Spider-Man Homecoming, they did Scorpion or
Yep.
whatever, but they never followed up with that. But then in No Way Home, he was in the clouds, and it was like, and but you never technically. I guess that would be from another universe though. So I don't know. I guess that's kind of a way to kind of slither out of that one. But
Right.
yeah, no, they
Yeah.
definitely kind of like with Morbius. I feel like he could have been cool because I think that would have actually been a perfect way to tie into Blade, especially with Blade coming up. You could have easily, honestly, put Blade in the cameo or in the post credit scene, just
Oh,
like you did
100%.
with
Yeah.
like Eternals. You didn't even show him; you just heard his voice. Boom, it's Blade.
I mean, you
Like,
know, they're already shooting it, so like he
that's
could
what
have
I'm
easily
saying.
just did a
Like, you could
post
have
credit like
easily. You didn't even have to show him. You could have did what Eternals did. Put his voice in there. Have him say Morbius or something. Fade to black. Who is
yep.
that? You know how much buzz that got? Like
Or
how many
you
people?
could have just like flashed his sword or something like
Something, just anything, like his shades, trench coat, something, just a lightning shot of him in the back, and then it pops up Blade. Boom, we go to black. Nothing else. He's
Yep.
connected to Blade now. That's why I say Sony just doing stuff alone. I don't think Sony has the right people. I think Marvel has the right people because Marvel has people that are actually comic book fans, and it's not just people that make movies. Even with DC, I think DC's problem right now is just they don't have comic book fans in office. They don't have like a CEO that actually has read the shit that he's making.
Yep.
So therefore, the movies aren't going to translate because he doesn't know. He doesn't love this enough to know this is how this person should be. This is the personality of Batman. This is, the personality of Aquaman. He's more than just some deep ass voice. Like, this is the actual personality of
Yep.
this character and the development. Maybe now that they're reshuffling and DC, dude, don't get me started on DC.
They really okay. They really do need to get a Jon Stewart movie for real.
They need to do like hot. As much as I love Ben Affleck, as much as I love everybody else, Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill. Still feel like Henry Cavill should be at Marvel, but that's just me. I feel like they should do a complete flush out, redo the entire thing. Honestly, if they want to get rid of Ezra and everybody else and just start over, use Flashpoint and do it.
Yep.
Start the entire goddamn universe over from blank slate. If you want to keep them on, that's fine. Start the entire thing over. There was no Batman story. There was no Wonder Woman story. There was nothing. You don't necessarily have to give them any origin story. We all know Batman's parents got shot. Don't need to revisit it. We all know who Wonder Woman is. Don't need to revisit it. We know who Superman is. Don't need to revisit it. Aquaman, maybe, but not really. Green Lantern is probably the one person that needs a full actual origin story. But even that, you don't have to do a movie.
Honestly, though, like they could do so much with just creating a bunch of stories based off of the Green Lantern Corps.
Do you know how big that would be if they could actually
It would
like
it would be an
cash
entire phase, at least. At
Green
least.
Lantern like that the entire core because you have so many different versions. You don't even have to do Hal Jordan or John Stewart. You can do Kyle Garner or like you can do Sinestro if you want to just fucking skip the Green Lanterns and just go to somebody else and just do that story. You can do the origin of the Green Lanterns and how they even came to fucking be. You don't have to start with Hal Jordan if you don't want to start with Hal Jordan.
There's so much.
It's so many different people you can do Green Lantern with. And they were supposed to do a series, but I don't even know what's happening with that. I don't even know if that's going to ever happen again. Because what's going on, I doubt it.
Right.
But yeah,
I just want them to do Doomsday correct in a movie once, because they fuck it up every single time. Like,
honestly, I don't think they're gonna do. I don't even think we'll ever see them do Doomsday.
we'll never see that, because so like for anybody that's never actually like seen like what actually happens in Doomsday. So like I even have the Superman comic where he dies and like Lois Lane is like holding him with his cape flowing in the back, like all that stuff. So like Doomsday fucking murdered every single superhero alive practically. Like he went through Flash, he went through like Batman, Wonder Woman, like all like Doomsday was fucking annihilating people.
Yeah.
And it took the literal death of Superman, and spoiler alert, he comes back, but whatever. Like he gets sent to the Fortress of Solitude, and he has to go like basically get regenerated through like all of like the Kryptonian like structures and things that they have to like save his body and his life and everything like that. And in the meantime, they have this cloned version of Superman that actually comes out and is acting like him, but it's not really him because he doesn't have any of Clark's like memories, and like his persona isn't there. It's just like a kind of a blank slate of a Superman clone. And then you start seeing like all like the really cool stories of like Superboy comes out, the Man of Steel, which is like a really cool story. He was like if I remember correctly, he was a dock worker that Superman saved at one point, and he started making his own suit of armor like Iron Man style to help out Superman, because like Superman was such a big influence on his life that this guy, and I believe they named him John Henry in the book. I'll have to, I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure they named him John Henry. But he made this like legit suit of armor where he could fly, and he had a hammer, and he was like vigilante style, like going in and like fighting crime in the midst of Superman's death, because like once Superman died, like everything just started popping off, like all the villains just start popping off. And so that was such a cool story, but it's never been fully like realized in any TV show or movie.
Like if you can get somebody that can structure a story together, put all the actual Justice League members in place, you don't have to do some long drawn out like origin story on all of them. You could probably skip every last one of their origin stories, because I'm pretty sure everybody that's going to be invested knows those stories.
They've been ran through too. So
you don't
times.
have to keep telling us. Like the Flash, we even have the TV show. We know he gets struck by lightning. Boom, he's there. We know how Jordan, he's a pilot. He gets the ring. He goes to the court, all that. We probably even know the fucking speech. We probably can say the speech by heart right now. Like Aquaman, we know he's half Atlantean, half human. Keep it moving. Martian Manhunter, we probably don't know. You could probably do that when you give somebody like some origin of him. But even that, I don't even think it needs its own movie for. You can just introduce him with somebody else and kind of like explain, get him into it, get him caught up. He's done. And then Shazam.
They need to start it like with the Justice League in their space station above Earth. That's where they need to start.
Just like start. That's what I like. I don't think I think people are so accustomed to like origin stories because of Marvel, and because Marvel gave everybody an individual movie before we got to a team up, that they feel like we need that to do it. And I personally don't feel like we need that. I don't even want that for the X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we need an origin story for everybody. I feel like it's more than one way to like get people introduced to somebody without taking 10 damn years to like explain, all right, now we're a team. Like, no, it doesn't take that. You can just do
all they need to do is make sure that the TV shows and the movies are aligned together. That's it.
Literally, just make sure everything is, well, even I can't even say that because even Marvel kind of fucks up that sometimes. But they just kind of get it to where it at least makes sense to the person that's not a comic reader. If you can get the person that's not an avid comic reader to kind of keep up, then you're good. Because I got people now that have never read a book, but they'll ask me something and they'll be like, I'll just explain it. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I'm good now. That's all it takes. Like, simple one thing. You have so many YouTube videos of everybody breaking stuff down, so they won't be lost for long if they are lost. Like, it's easy to kind of catch back up. You don't even have to read a comic book nowadays to kind of know what the hell is going on. No. Most of the time, most of them aren't even direct comic book reimagining. It's just like pulling from each little, arc or whatever, just to kind of build a story together.
Yeah.
I just think they just need cohesive character development. You're good.